Warning, warning, this video is being recorded before chapter 100 of JOJOLION comes out. So it has not come out yet, so I haven't read it. So this is just going to be me with my thoughts on current state of JOJOLION. If any of the stuff that I say in this video ends up not being true based on chapter 100, then excuse me for that, it doesn't exist yet. So I'm just putting my ideas out there, and if they're wrong, whatever, dudes. But yeah, this is amazing. We are at 100 chapters, because this video, I'm going to have it come out after chapter 100 has already come out. So there's a link in the description where you can go read chapter 100. It's there right now as this video is out. But yeah, 100 chapters of JOJOLION. This started in 2011. Obviously, I wasn't reading JoJo in 2011 because I was 7 years old. I don't know, but man, we're already here. I mean, like I said, it has been a long time. It's been 9 years going, but it's still amazing that we have 100 chapters of JOJOLION. And the reason I'm making this right now is because I just finished rereading chapters 1 through 99. So I wanted to give some of my thoughts on that after rereading it again, getting my mind fresh on a lot of stuff. But yeah, I want to say JOJOLION up to this point has been absolutely amazing. I doubt whatever comes next is going to ruin the part. But I would totally say, I know I've been saying a lot recently that part 4 is my favorite part, but I do like part 7 more. I don't know. It's just because part 4, it just keeps growing on me more, but I think overall, I think part 7 is still my favorite. So I would say part 7, then part 4, and then close third, I would say part 8. JOJOLION is really, really good, and it's by far the most complex story out of all the parts that we've seen so far. Even tying in part 7, and that's part of the reason I really like it as well, is because it ties in part 7 stuff, because it's in the same universe, and it's like the alternate universe equivalent of part 4, which it's kind of like part 4 and 5. It's got some elements of part 5 in it, but it is really, really good. And I want to stop just gushing about how good I think it is, and maybe get into some stuff that I am thinking about it. Mainly, there's just one topic I want to think about: the future of JOJOLION, where I'm predicting we're gonna go with this, which is Jobin is the main villain. Jobin is 100% gonna be the main villain of part 8, and I think he already is, because it's pretty obvious. Like the head doctor is what like some people are saying, like, oh, he's the main villain, or Toru, I guess. It's like, oh, he's the main villain because he's doing all this big boy stuff and we're so late in the part, whatever. I don't think so at all, because the whole thing with the head, we only knew about the head doctor in, I want to say, like chapter 83 or something like that is when we first learned about the head doctor and the whole thing with all the doctors. If you want to say, like, oh, maybe not them, but like having the stuff, maybe you want to go back as far as Urban Gorilla, okay, that's still like, I want to say in the 60s in the chapters, like 65 or something like that. So still extremely late into the part we're hearing about the main villain and stuff, versus Jobin, who was there in, like, I want to say it was either the late teens, like 17, 18, or maybe like early 20s, so like 22, 23. I don't know, somewhere in that range. We see him pretty early into the part. We don't see him immediately, but pretty early. And we hear about him even, like, I want to say, like chapter 5 or something like that. We hear about, oh, the eldest brother, Jobin. Oh, he's not here. What's going on with him? So we hear of his influence really early in the part, and we see him still pretty soon in. So, I don't know, he's just had an influence through the whole thing. I think it wouldn't make a ton of sense for him not to be the main villain. And for someone like Toru to take over, who we learned about like well over halfway through the part. So, I don't know. Well, obviously I can't say halfway or such, because we don't know how many chapters there are going to be. But I'm just judging it on, there's going to be around 100. I don't think there's going to be that many more chapters in JOJOLION. But I think I think he was too late into the part for it to be less than halfway. I don't know, but other than that, another thing, as I was rereading, and more when I got into, I noticed it a lot more when I got into the part where Sasame Ojiro comes back, which I believe is like, I want to say that's like chapter 87 or 88, something like that. So Sasame Ojiro comes back, and then Jobin kills him and his girlfriend with Speed King. But the main thing that tipped me off of that is because his ability is really similar to Killer Queen, if you think about it. Even though Kida Yoshikage and Killer Queen were already a thing in this part, they were before and whatever, and they're dead. And if Gappy, our main boy, he's Higashikata Josuke, that's his name in the part, so he's relating to the Josuke of part 4, the villain should probably relate to Kida Yoshikage. And I know, like I said, we've already had Kida Yoshikage, but I mean, having someone like him be the main villain would make a lot of sense. And getting into more of that, Speed King's ability is it touches something and then it stores heat into that, and then it can release that heat, which is really similar to Killer Queen, because Killer Queen touches something and then it can release an explosion from that, which is very similar. So, I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense to me that those abilities are related, so I feel like that could mean something based on who the villain is. I think that ties him very closely to the Kida Yoshikage of part 4, and he could totally be the villain because of that. And same thing with Soft and Wet, at least Kujo Josufumi's Soft and Wet, and even Gappy does it too, is kind of similar to Crazy Diamond because he can use his soap bubbles to like put things back together. Like Kujo Josufumi grafted the Dokakaka branch onto the other tree with Soft and Wet. There's a lot of similarities going in there. So I think it would make a lot of sense. And that being said, I think we could see something with Jobin potentially having something similar to Bites the Dust, not even necessarily having to do with time. Because the whole thing with Bites the Dust is it was meant to keep Kida Yoshikage's identity hidden. And what do we have in part 8? Tsurugi, who has Paper Moon King, who makes everyone's identities blur together. So something having to do with that could tie in with Bites the Dust. Just hiding Jobin's identity, maybe. So maybe there's like a final last struggle, because Toru, as far as chapter 99 goes, he doesn't have the new Dokakaka yet. So we could potentially see something with Jobin hiding his identity with Paper Moon King, and having a final battle to find Jobin in order to get the new Dokakaka. But then the last thing I have is just because in chapter, I want to say 98, or it might actually been 97, I think it was 97, Jobin supposedly died, but it's one of those things where we never actually saw him die, he just bled a lot, and we've had plenty of examples of characters bleeding out more and being fine. Actually, maybe not, but still, we've had characters bleed out and be fine, and also, what thing better to heal that with than the thing that he currently has on him, which is the Dokakaka. He has the Dokakaka on him, which can heal wounds like that. So why wouldn't it make sense to be like, oh, he could totally just survive from that? And I believe there are 2 fruits on the new Dokakaka tree. I believe there are. I might be wrong about that, but he could totally take one of those and then still have one for Tsurugi. So, I could totally see that being something that gets done. So I don't know, maybe he would just last out until the harvest happens, something like that. I don't know. And the other thing is, he totally has the resolve to do something like that. He is one of the most determined characters in the entire part. He's so adamant about his family is taking the right path. We are doing the right thing. Even if we have to hurt other people, we are in the right here, and we'll win and prove that. So I think totally he has the resolve to live through this, or maybe we'd have some sort of Bruno Bucciolati situation, where maybe he dies, but then he gets the Dokakaka and he heals his body and he can come back. Like I said, this part seems to take elements from both parts 4 and 5. So we could potentially see something like that happen. So I think there's a lot of ways that Jobin could come out of this alive still, and then gain some sort of new power, either just from his own resolve or like from Tsurugi with Paper Moon King. I think there's a lot of ways that this could play out with Jobin being the main villain, but with the head doctor in Toru, I think it's kind of just like they're there and they're getting the fruit for the medical purposes. Just like to be greedy and have it for medical purposes. That doesn't seem like a main villain goal. You know, it doesn't seem like good enough. Because when you think about all the other villains, they all have like really like enticing goal. It's like Dio wants to have his heaven plan, and then Kira Yoshikage with his quiet life, whatever. Diavolo wants to like erase his past. Like stuff like that, it's like more meaningful goals rather than just, oh, I want to make money with my medical stuff. Where Jobin has an actual goal like that, where he wants to prove that his family's in the right and heal his son. So, I don't know, I think Jobin has the motivation, he has ways to get out of the situation that he's in. There's a lot of potential for him being the main villain, and I just can't see anyone else taking that position. So, whatever. I think that's it. That's all I really wanted to hit on. So I think with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap this video up, and I'm going to read chapter 100 when that comes out. So I'll probably have read something about that, but you can check it out in the description. It'll be down there. Go read it. And if you haven't read the rest of JoJolion, read that too. I read all of it. It took me like, I want to say like 5 days to read all of the chapters. Go read them. I'll leave the site that I'm linking down below has all the chapters that you can go read. Go do that totally. I love this part so much, and I think a lot of you would probably like it too if you haven't read it before. But thank you guys so much for watching this one. If you liked it, smash that motherfucking like button for JoJolion Chapter 100 hype. Because honestly, I'm really excited to read this chapter. I cannot wait. 100 chapters. I think that might be the longest part out of all of them as far as chapters go. I don't know, maybe not, but you can also feel free, like I said, check out chapter 100 in the description as well as all of the other ones, and you can check out my Twitter and Instagram, always down there. Feel free to leave comments. Tell me, how hyped are you? God, I'm such a trash YouTuber. God, I'm absolute scum. But how did you guys, just your ideas on chapter 100? Things you thought maybe going into it, and then, like I said, this video is coming out after, so maybe things that you thought after reading it. I don't know. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear other people's ideas on this, because, I don't know, I just have my stupid ideas. I mean, they have some basis on them. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, click over here to go see my most recent video. You can click over here to go see something else, I don't fucking know. And go click right in the middle here to go subscribe. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see all you guys in the next one. Go read chapter 100 right now. You'll enjoy it, I promise.